Good evening, students. Myself, Dr. Hetal Mehta. Today, I'll take a very important topic of the anterior abdominal wall, and the topic is the inguinal ligament. This is a very important topic for short note also, and for viva purposes. It's an important topic to know and understand. Now, inguinal ligament, it is also known as Paupert's ligament. The spelling is Poupart'. It is also known as Paupert's ligament. Okay. Now this inguinal ligament, if you see in the diagram, I will show here. See, this is the diagram of the inguinal ligament. Okay. This is the inguinal ligament. Okay. Now, how the inguinal ligament is formed, that we'll see. It is formed in the lower border of the external oblique muscle aponeurosis, which is thickened and folded backwards on itself. Now you all know the muscles of the anterior abdominal wall. One of the muscle of the anterior abdominal wall is external oblique muscle. The external oblique muscle, the fibers are directed downwards and medially. You have done the origin, the insertion, the nerve supply and the action. I've already taught you in the lecture. So the lower part of the external oblique muscle, the aponeurosis, it folds on itself and it becomes a thickened band like structure, this band, and it forms an ligament. So the formation is from the external oblique muscle aponeurosis. Okay, it folds on itself and it becomes a thickened structure. Okay, it becomes a thickened structure and then it forms a ligament. So this is the formation of the inguinal ligament. Now it extends from, the extension of the inguinal ligament is from the anterior superior iliac spine. You can see here the anterior superior iliac spine. This is the extension. So anterior superior iliac spine, okay, to the pubic tubercle. This much is the extension of the inguinal ligament. The anterior superior iliac spine to the pubic tubercle. Okay, this is your pubic tubercle, anterior superior iliac spine. This is your pubic tubercle. So this much is the extension of the inguinal ligament. Now, the inguinal ligament, further the characteristic of inguinal ligament is the lateral half of the inguinal ligament is rounded and oblique. The lateral half, if we take the lateral half of the inguinal ligament, the lateral half is rounded and oblique. Okay, so the lateral half of the inguinal ligament is rounded and oblique, and the medial half is grooved upwards. Okay, it is grooved upwards and it is more horizontal. Okay, so the lateral half of the inguinal ligament is rounded and oblique, and the medial half of the inguinal ligament is grooved upwards. It is grooved upwards and it is more horizontal. Okay, now the floor, inguinal canal, it lodges spermatic cord in males and round ligament in females. Okay, so that we'll see in the inguinal canal. Just remember, the lateral half is rounded and oblique, and the medial half is more grooved upwards and is more horizontal. Now, what are the attachments on the inguinal ligament? The attachments are, first is fascia lata, which is present on the lower border of the inguinal ligament. Okay, on one attachment is fascia lata, which is present in the lower border of the inguinal ligament. Okay, now traction of the fasciolata. Traction means when it is stretched. Okay, the ligament, it becomes convex and downwards. Now this fasciolata is attached to the lower border of the inguinal ligament. When it is traction, when it is tracked, so traction of this fasciolata, the inguinal ligament is pulled downwards. Okay, and it becomes convex. Okay, so this lower border fasciolata, when it is traction is done, the inguinal ligament will be more convex and downwards. Okay. Now we'll see the fasciolata is first attachment. The next attachment on the inguinal ligament is the internal oblique muscle, the upper surface of its lateral 2/3. So in the lower part we have seen entire fasciolata. Now in the upper part of the inguinal ligament, in the lateral 2/3, of the upper part of the inguinal ligament is the internal oblique muscle, and lateral 1/3, okay, lateral 2/3 and lateral 1/3 is transversus abdominis muscle. Okay, so in the lateral 2/3 is internal oblique, and the lateral 1/3 is your transversus abdominis muscle. Okay, in the middle part is the cremaster muscle. Okay, in the middle is the cremaster muscle. So the lower border of the inguinal ligament has fasciolata. When traction of fasciolata happens, the inguinal ligament, it moves downwards and it becomes convex. Lateral 2/3 internal oblique muscle, lateral 1/3 transversus abdominis muscle. This muscle you all know is of anterior abdominal wall. In the middle is the cremaster muscle. Okay, now we'll see the relation of the inguinal ligament. The upper grooved surface on the medial half of the inguinal ligament forms the floor of the inguinal canal. Now this is the lateral part of the inguinal canal, this much. Okay, so take the lateral part and the medial part. So in the lateral part there are muscles, internal oblique and the transversus abdominis. But in the medial half of the inguinal ligament, this medial half, it forms the floor of the inguinal canal, means above this is your inguinal canal. So inguinal canal is here and below it is your medial half of the inguinal ligament. Clear? So this medial half, it forms the floor of the inguinal canal, and this inguinal canal has the spermatic cord in males and the round ligament in females. Clear? Okay, so this is about the attachments on the inguinal ligament. Now we'll see the extensions of the inguinal ligament. The first extension of the inguinal ligament is the lacunar ligament or pectineal ligament, or pectineal part of the inguinal ligament. This is the lacunar ligament, as the name suggests, lacunar ligament. This ligament, see, if you see this pink color light shade, this ligament is lacunar ligament. Okay, now this lacunar ligament is triangular in shape. This lacunar ligament is triangular in shape. The apex is towards the pubic tubercle. See, this is the apex. The apex is towards the pubic tubercle, this triangular ligament. So these are the extensions of the inguinal ligament. The apex is the pubic tubercle. On the anterior side, here is the anterior side, is the medial end of the inguinal ligament. The medial part of the inguinal ligament, it forms the anterior end, and the posterior end is the, you can see this is pecten pubis. Okay, so this is the first extension of the inguinal ligament, and the first extension is the lacunar ligament. The lacunar ligament, as you know, it is triangular in shape. Okay, this is triangular in shape if you see, and the apex is the pubic tubercle. Anterior end, okay, is the medial part of the inguinal ligament, and posterior is the pecten pubis. Okay, so this is your lacunar ligament. The base of the lacunar ligament is laterally directed and it supports the spermatic cord. Okay, now this lacunar ligament, it forms the medial boundary of the femoral ring. This you must have studied when you have studied the femoral ring in your lower limbs. And this lacunar ligament is reinforced by pectineal fascia and fibers of linea alba. So on the surface or on the roof of this lacunar ligament are pectineal fascia. So above this lacunar ligament will be pectineal fascia and fibers of linea alba. Linea alba, you all know, it's a white line, midline. Okay, so this is linea alba, central white line from the xiphoid process to the pubic symphysis. Okay, so this was lacunar ligament. The next extension of the inguinal ligament is, you can see here, is the pectineal ligament on the pectineal surface. So that is the next extension. It's an extension from the posterior part of the base of the lacunar ligament. So this is the posterior part. The posterior part is formed by pecten pubis. So this is an extension. This is an extension from the posterior part of the base of the lacunar ligament. It is attached to which part? Pecten pubis. So this is an continuation. You can see this is the continuation of the posterior part of the base of the lacunar ligament. So it continues as pectineal ligament or ligament of Cooper, and it is attached to pecten pubis. So the attachment here will be pectineal fascia. Pectineal fascia will also attach here. So this ligament will become little bit thickened. Okay. So first is your lacunar ligament here, and then the pectineal ligament. Okay. Now the last extension we'll see is here, that is the reflected part of the inguinal ligament. You can see here the reflected part of the inguinal ligament. Now what is this liquid reflected part of the inguinal ligament? Some of the fibers of the ligament, it passes, that is inguinal ligament, it passes upwards and medially from lateral crust of the superficial inguinal ring. So this is, you can see here, this is the reflected part. See, this is the reflected part of the inguinal ligament. You can see here. This is the reflected part of the inguinal ligament. This, okay, this reflected part, and this reflected part, okay, it passes upwards and medially from lateral crust of the superficial inguinal ring. There is one ring which is present, which is superficial inguinal ring, and this superficial and deep inguinal ring, they unite together to form inguinal canal. Okay, so this inguinal ligament, the reflected part of the inguinal ligament, it comes from the lateral crust of the superficial inguinal ring. The superficial inguinal ring is present medially. Now I told you the floor, this medial part of the inguinal ligament forms the floor of the inguinal canal. So here is the superficial, here is a deep inguinal ring, superficial inguinal ring. Superficial will be very superficial, deep will be deep. So this reflected part of the inguinal ligament, it arises from the lateral crus of the superficial inguinal ring. Now, it lies behind the superficial inguinal ring. This reflected part of the inguinal ligament lies behind the superficial inguinal ring and in front of the conjoint tendon. Okay. So, this was important about the inguinal ligament. So, we'll just revise what I have taught. Inguinal ligament, it is also known as Poppert's ligament. The formation is from the lower border of the external oblique aponeurosis, where it is thickened and folded backwards on itself. Extension is from anterior superior iliac spine to pubic tubercle. The lateral half is rounded and oblique, and the medial half is grooved and it moves horizontal. Okay. Now the medial half, it forms the floor of the inguinal canal. Okay. The attachments here are fascia lata. This fascia lata is present in the lower border of the inguinal ligament. Okay. And traction of this fascia will make the ligament convex and downwards. Internal oblique is present in the lateral 2/3 of the upper surface of the inguinal ligament. So the lateral 2/3 of the upper surface, okay, and the lateral 1/3 of the upper surface is transversus abdominis. Okay, in the middle part is the cremaster muscle. Okay, next extensions, the lacunar ligament is the first extension. It is triangular ligament. The apex is pubic tubercle. Anterior and posterior, the anterior part is the medial end of the inguinal ligament and posterior part is the pecten pubis. Okay, the base is directed downwards and it forms the medial boundary of the femoral ring. It is reinforced by the roof, has the pectineal fascia and the fibers of linea alba. Then the next extension is the pectineal ligament or ligament of Cooper, which is extension from the posterior part of the base of the lacunar ligament, which is attached to the pecten pubis. Thickening of the upper part of pectineal fascia. Okay, and it's a reflected thickening of the pectineal fascia. Now the last part of the extension is the reflected part of the inguinal ligament. It arises from the lateral crus of the superficial inguinal ring. Here is the superficial inguinal ring, if we say. So from the lateral crus, it lies behind the superficial inguinal ring and in front of the conjoint tendon. Now what is conjoint tendon will be taken in my next video. I hope you understand. Thank you so much.